Welcome everybody to another episode of Buried Pleasures. I'm your hostess, Pollyanna Amazing. And tonight I have a special cool little thing that I'm going to do. A really awesome author I had on the show gave us access to a wonderful book that he's written. His name is Kristopher Lovestone, and he is a sex educator, couples counselor. He comes from Costa Rica, and he wrote a book called The Conscious Cock. Fantastic read. If you haven't seen it, go out and get it. But I asked my guest to check out the book, to have a little perspective on what's it like to be in your 20s and read a book that tells you what to do and how to have a conscious cock. So my super awesome friend, who I just adore, young James, would you like to introduce yourself, please, sir?
Yeah, name is James. I help out Pollyanna with some editing stuff here and there, I guess. Yeah. And then I'm a regular guest on Lost Loser podcast.
Lost Loser podcast with that sweetheart John Bequette. Love him. What a great bunch of guys over there. And who do you have with you, James?
Crystal.
Hi, Crystal.
I didn't read this book.
She didn't read the book, but Crystal's a badass nurse aide, certified nurse's assistant at CAMC, and we love her already at Buried Pleasures because I'm down with nursing always. Fantastic job, Crystal. Welcome to the show, guys. What y'all been doing today? No, don't answer that. No, seriously though, what have y'all been up to today? What's going on?
I had work. I work at Spencer's right now, which just seems fitting for my personality and stuff. But did that from 3 and I had to close, and then Crystal hung out with mom and my sister.
I slept until after 3 p.m.
Yeah.
I slept until like 4:30.
Oh, to be 20 again. Oh, to be 20 again. I haven't taken a nap or slept that long for so long I can't even remember, but I digress. So Jamie, let's just jump into this. I know I asked you to read this because, again, I wanted to have a young gentleman's perspective on a book called The Conscious Cock, which is basically geared towards guys in your age group, guys who are just starting out on their pirating adventures in life. So, Jamie, tell me what you think.
Yeah, it was really interesting. Just like the start of the book, he kind of is very upfront of, if you're not willing to accept what he may say as being oppositional to your beliefs, and if you're not willing to be open to it, just stop reading. And gotcha. Shit like that was just like really cool to me for some reason, just because I haven't read a book like that.
Yeah.
And then
let me remind you too, don't give away any secrets, like really deep secrets in the book that are like real important.
Yeah, I'm mostly going from the first few chapters.
There you go.
But the beginning is just kind of telling you to really respect women's opinions and stuff, and really to open up about, like, one of the lines was, if a woman or your partner gives you one of her truths, to not second guess it, to actually put thought behind it and actually try to understand her perspective. Yeah. And if you don't do that, you're just going to be a and get nowhere in life. Mm-hmm. And like just very abrupt ways to make a point was just like very, I guess, just worked really well for me.
Okay. Awesome. So when you are, starting in a new relationship, like I know you are right now. Hi, Crystal. No. Did you think that if you were yourself, because you are, do you think that book was like an informational piece that guys around your age should like pick up and take a listen to or read? Do you think
Oh,
that that would be
definitely.
helpful?
Like it like one of the mottos of it is like your life, and for some reason that like really hit me.
Yeah.
Of like if you have $100 to save or go to a concert or something like that, like spend $100. Like you're not gonna remember where it went.
Right.
You're gonna remember the experience, and you're gonna be more educated in terms of social life and everything from it.
Right.
And just having these opportunities to go out and practice talking to females is the only way you're going to get better at it. And to your life by just indulging in other people.
Mm-hmm. I think that's really important. I think that a lot of people do, like, you can read all the books you want. You can all the self-help, all the whatever advice books. You really just need to think that if you're not getting out there and practicing the things that you're reading about, then how the hell are you ever going to advance yourself?
Yeah.
You know, you really have to get out there and try. So that's interesting. So I like that. I like that you brought up that point. Tell me some more about that.
For me, it was just I read it as I was starting a new job also after like 2 years of just working from home and doing DoorDash and just not really having any contact at all
Yeah.
with other people
Hmm.
and starting a new job. And then reading this was just kind of like, it doesn't have to be, your point doesn't have to be sex when like flirting with someone. It
Right.
can be just to make them have a better day. It can
Hmm.
just be to practice how you talk to people. It can just be how anything like that.
Yeah.
And so it wasn't about just your life in terms of go have as much sex as possible. It was just try to make your day as best as you can. And
Right.
if that means putting a fake smile on for 20 minutes to make everyone else happy, and then you can remember that moment so you're happier in the future, then do it.
Right. Right. I think a lot of people have problems with being present in the moment. Like, we all have so many things to worry about all day long. Like there's there's not one day that you don't wake up and have a thought like, oh man, I got to do this, or oh man, I should have done that last week, but now I got to really break down, do it now. Those are that's some truths right there, right? That's what we
Yeah.
do. Yeah. That part really stings. But what else impressed you about this book?
Um, One of the lines that was really interesting to me early on was if you want to look for self evolution but don't want to talk about sexuality, then you're going to fail. And
Yeah.
I think for me, that was a big self realization I had a few years ago of like, I said it to my dad as a joke of like, ass is a good motivator,
Mhm.
but just putting yourself out there, having that contact does motivate you, at least in a male's mind,
Mhm.
for sure. Of like, oh, just let me clean up the house so I look even a little bit better, and maybe she'll put some extra effort in, and just little like that.
Yeah.
And it's just these cycles that happen of like trying to impress, but then it becomes a routine
Mhm.
and makes you a better person.
Right.
And those kind of processes have always been really interesting to me, and just having that realization, because I didn't really have a lot of sex in high school, so for me it was like afterwards of
Mhm.
finding that out.
Yeah.
And to my dad, it was just hilarious to him, just being like, yeah, obviously.
Yeah, that's how it works, right? So do you feel like, I mean, at your age, so you're 20, is that
Yeah.
correct? Just want to double check. I didn't want to shortchange you if we had changed anytime in the last few days. But anyway, do you think that your age group of men, do you think you're more comfortable talking about your sexuality as a whole? Or do you think it's just like it's always been? Do you think people are still really, reserved?
I still feel like it's in sections of people,
Mhm.
because if it's still, I would say it's still a big deal if you come out on the football team in high school. And
Yeah.
even when I lived in Temecula in California, it was a big deal because there was like 2 of them that after high school came out, and it was like, oh, what the you guys were in the they would say was like, you're in the locker room with us and all that
Oh yeah.
bullshit.
Yeah.
And so it was, I still feel like there's that stigma for some reason.
Yeah. Yeah.
And it's definitely not the majority, but there's certain things like that I feel like it's still gonna stay up for a while.
Right.
For whatever reason.
In my eyes, things have improved, if you can imagine. Like when I was younger, obviously, in the
Sure, yeah.
I graduated in the early 90s, and like it was not it wasn't acceptable to be anything other than straight homonormative. That's it. that was it. But even back then, I surrounded myself with people who I liked and who I knew were gay or lesbian, and I never had a problem with that. And for whatever reason, I don't know what part of my upbringing gave me that, but I'm happy for it.
Yeah.
Because a lot of people don't get that. They're not that lucky. And for all the unusual and and torturous religious belief stuff that got given
And
to
I'm
all
sure
of us
part
at
of my
some point.
view is
Yeah.
still obscured or biased because I am in like a Bible Belt area, and
Right.
it is
Right.
the concentration of ignorance here is baffling compared to everywhere else I've lived.
Right.
And it's just it was weirdly eye-opening moving here.
I can understand that completely. I can, since you are living where I used to live. It's so strange how we met, but it's pretty awesome. It happened just so cool, right? Like I met the guys from Trash Panda.
Yeah.
Yeah, Colin from Trash Panda, and I got on a call with you guys from Lost Losers, and we have all like we do those weekly calls, and I freaking love them. They're my favorite.
Yeah, and I met the Trash Panda guys one night because they were on a Twitter like group call, which is already gone within like 2 or 3 months. They already removed it. But we were in like one of those that was a live thing, and I just hopped in and we were talking about how to shoot the largest ropes, how to get the thickest ropes for your cum. And then we were talking about making asparagus smoothies and all this shit. And they were just like, all right, James is funny, we need to talk to him more. And it just like started from there.
Yeah, well, I happened upon Trash Pandas from the 5-Hour Energy episode. Yeah. Was it JT?
Yeah.
Yeah. JT, you cool. Are you? And your 5-Hour Energy drinks. Oh my gosh. Listen, I don't care what anybody says. I've heard people so often say, why are you having all these other people from other podcasts on your show? Because you're just promoting them, not yourself. And I'm like, dude, I am having the time of my absolute life right now. And, like, I don't care. I mean, I'll help out whoever I need to, right? Like, this is so fun just to meet people and get to talk about things like the conscious cock. Let's get back to that.
Yeah.
Tell me some more about what you think.
One of the fun things to me reading was fashion affecting relationships and kind of having another guy's view of that.
Yeah.
Because like, I don't know why, but I feel weird talking to other guys about fashion for some reason.
Yeah.
And I've never had any friends that were also somewhat into it, at least. And they would just have like 1 or 2 pairs of shoes. And it's not like I know that sounds just saying that,
No.
but they just didn't put the effort in, because you can just go to the thrift store and spend fucking $50 and get 10 outfits. And that was kind of my mentality about it in high school.
Yeah.
And I just never had any other guys that I could talk about it. But hearing his perspective about it, being like, hey, if your wardrobe is a year and a half old, go get new clothes, you nasty. It was just like awesome. And so it's just stuff like that where I just really liked hearing that for some reason, because I was like, it feels nice to me, just in a confidence way, to update your look.
Right.
And it doesn't have to be drastic. Like, I've dressed like a hippie for 4 or 5 years now, but I can still just get new pieces here and there and new shoes or something like that, and kind of try new stuff, try new colors, try different silhouettes and stuff like that. And it just changes your confidence in certain ways.
Right. Like, you have confidence to walk up to a chick at a concert and just take her home with you. I know, I see that.
Sorry, mom popped in for a second.
No, you're good. Confidence.
Yeah.
Confidence enough to pick up a girl at a rock concert. Yeah, I got you.
It was so awkwardly adorable too. Like, he just comes over and like sits next to me. I'm like, oh.
Hello there.
Interesting creature.
But then you have to ask him, hey, are you over 18?
He looks older than I do. And I'm the cougar here.
That's right. That's right. Oh my gosh, that's right. Young James is a healthy 20-year-old, and Crystal is a rocking 26-year-old. Get it, girl. I'm all about the Coogan over here. I'm telling you, fans of the show know that my husband is 10 years younger than me, and he's adorable. Just love his little face. So, yeah, this is this is awesome to talk to you about this book, because one of the things that really impressed me when I first met you, Jamie, is because you are very open about your own sexuality and about things about your life. So, that really impresses me, because I can honestly say, from my perspective, as my age that I am now, the guys that I've known in my lifetime, I haven't met that are that free with their own information, like that's a huge thing. And I'm very impressed by that. Actually, it's pretty cool.
Yeah. And it's not to get too personal on the
You're
podcast,
editing
but
this show. You are editing this show for me right now. I am sending this to you when we get done. You are editing this, and don't edit this part out, because I want the world to know that you're editing this show.
Oh, it's great. But like, honesty is a really important thing to me, and it doesn't matter if someone tells me something that's gonna make me upset. If they're telling me the truth, I'll get over it. It doesn't bother me. And it's not that it doesn't bother me, it's just that eventually I'll be able to accept the truth. But if someone's living in a different reality and gaslighting and lying to me and like that, like, I just can't deal with it. And I don't know what it is exactly, but when I was younger, when I was about 11 to 12, I was dealing with a lot of depression and anxiety and trying to figure out what those were and in my mind. And I just became this habitual liar. And it took years of therapy for me to like fully get over it. And since then, I just can't, it doesn't comprehend to me to lie.
Gotcha.
And it just doesn't, I don't know. It's so weird to me to lie, especially as an adult. It's just not going to get you anywhere.
Right. You don't need it.
Yeah.
You don't need it. Honesty goes a long way too. I mean, like, people know who's honest. When you meet people, I think you have an innate ability to do that. Yeah.
And like, that's why I have Abraham Lincoln on the back of my leg, because I just wanted something for honesty, but I didn't want like the word or some dumb shit, so I got Honest Abe.
Gotcha. And another thing for people who are listening and not watching, your Fanta tattoo on your hand
Oh
is
yeah, the
my
Phantom Fan is
my
amazing.
absolute favorite too. You're so crazy. I
And
just
then
love
I think I was just about to get Grim Reaper Tinkerbell on my neck
it.
because of
Okay.
our dog that passed away.
Yeah, that's awesome. You're such a sweetie. Oh my gosh. So, what other point? Let's drive back to that book issue.
hmm
We have so much fun, Jamie. Talk to me about that other point that you were mentioning earlier.
Um, the last point wasn't from the book. It was something that
Ooh,
me and you talked about
right.
previously
Yeah, yeah, that's it.
because you were talking about sensitivity to, I guess, spirits or energies or
Yeah,
people's, I
yeah,
guess, personalities and emotions and
yeah.
stuff like that.
Right.
And I said something about testosterone affecting that more than estrogen.
Mm-hmm.
And maybe as guys get older, it becomes harder for us because it's always seemed to me that women have always been more connected to it and easier to understand what guys are thinking and stuff
Like
like
more
that.
intuitive for
Yeah,
sure.
and more
Yeah,
intuitive.
yeah.
And I used to be more in tune with it when I was younger, and
Yeah.
my mom would, I feel like, would definitely agree.
Mm-hmm.
But just as I gotten older, it's gotten more disconnected and just not being able to understand people as well. And
Right.
it takes more practice and takes more focus, I guess,
Uh-huh.
and stuff like that. And it was a weird thought I had of like, I wonder if testosterone has an effect on that.
It's an interesting thing. I think any kind of fluctuation in your anxiety levels and what have you when your dopamine is running and serotonins are all out of whack. And I think that your testosterone is definitely going to be one of those hormones that are affected. I would absolutely believe that. I don't have factual information on that, so
Yeah,
please somebody
exactly.
quote me.
It was just a fun thought process to me
Right.
to
I think
like,
that
I
that's
wonder.
you should go to medical school. Oh, no, actually, you should be a nurse practitioner because that's way cooler. Sorry for
I'm
any of my
interested
physical
in
friends out there.
mortuary.
Oh, mortuary science. Yeah, we
Yeah.
talked about that. That does not add to your creepy level at all, just so you know. I still love you just the same. Um, but yeah, I mean, dude, you should totally do that. But you should also still always edit for me. And especially as I'm getting older, whenever I get like, you know how it is, guys out there, whenever you try to help your mom with her phone or anything technical, it just gets so insane. I'm totally gonna do that to you, Jamie, because my son's gonna be like, no, mom. I'll never have any capability for communication ever again. It'll just be over. So yeah, I'm sorry. I'm charging you with that, James. That's all on
That's
you.
fine. But the IT stuff is just like a passion project, just like culinary.
Yeah. Man,
But
for all of
mortuary
your
is
young
pretty
age, you have
sweet.
so many cool things that you've done. You're cool. You're dope. I just love you. So let's wrap up this awesome evening because I know you guys, it's like midnight 30 over there. So
11:30, yeah.
yeah, see, close enough. Midnight 30, that's straight Kentucky right there. It's midnight 30. Anyway. Well, Jamie, I really appreciate you coming on the show. And Crystal, it's so good to see you too, sweetheart. I'm so excited. And just as a reminder, we are a part of the Just On Podcast media family, and that includes the guys over at Just On Podcast for advanced practitioners, Ben and Tom, and the lovely David Metzger, who is Nurse Papa. Guys, thanks so much again. I love you. Thanks. You're awesome. Check
Thank you.
me
Thank you.
out at buriedpleasures.com, Buried Pleasures on Twitter and Instagram. Have a good night, guys. Thanks.